2025 Volvo V90 Cross Country Ultra.
All right, Volvo, what do you got? Here we go, 422. All right, there's the electric pull. Where's the handoff?
It happened in there, right there.
That was it?
Yeah, it's real subtle, middle of the rev range.
I couldn't feel it. Yeah.
Right in the middle of the rev range.
Now, it's shifting.
You can hear the turbo, too, if you listen.
Meet Nathaniel Patton. He's a 35-year-old private equity manager, and he drives a spotless Lexus LC500, but he needs a car for his wife, Tiffany. She runs a phony non-profit Nathaniel set up for her to keep her busy so she doesn't slot car her Fritz the cat over her trainer's peaked bicep. Tiffany likes to buy potted plants all by herself from the bougie farmer's market, drive them back to their house in Gladwin, Pennsylvania, where she hands them to the groundskeeper to plant. Real green thumb there, Tiffany. Oh, what's the nonprofit about? I don't know, something books for suburban kids or iPads for urban kids, whatever. So of course she needs an all-wheel drive turbo supercharged hybrid wagon that sucks fuel despite an electric motor and the wind tunnel design. Volvo V90 Cross Country Ultra. Shout out to the PE guy on Instagram. It is literally this fictional character's wife's car. V90 Cross Country Ultra. For the guy who keeps getting robbed because he'll never notice that the money's missing. Imagine having so much disposable income that finding a fun way to use it never becomes a priority. In a way, you can kind of respect this type of wealth because it doesn't try to be flashy. It's not obsessed with the signifiers of abundance. They don't think about money enough to care how far it goes for them. The V90 Cross Country is enjoyable, but it's only enjoyable if you don't particularly care about what you're leaving on the table by driving this. This is like dropping down the gold card at a restaurant and telling your party of 12 to go nuts, but then you go to pay the bill and it turns out the entire charade was at Olive Garden. If you don't really care about money, then why are you settling for just nice? V90 Cross Country Ultra. For the person who wants to receive apologies everywhere they go. Because this expensive luxury wagon is a disposable item to those in the upper American classes. Driving this inefficient, wasteful, but nevertheless comfortable V90 Cross Country Ultra is like paying for a first-class ticket on a major airline, but then not eating any of the free food or drinking any of the free drinks. Today's episode of Regular Car Reviews is sponsored by Lasfit. Lasfits are durable floor mats made to cover more surface area than your traditional floor mats that came with your car, and these look dirty, don't they? Yeah, I'm not showing them to you when they came fresh out of the box. I'm showing them to you when they have a year's worth of crud grunked into them. I made up a word. It was called grunked. Because they look grunky. But the point is, I'm going to show you how easy these things are to clean. Lasfit uses premium TPE material. It's free of any sort of harmful chemicals, but they're durable enough that you can just hose them off. Now, I'm using a little bit of GP cleaner here. Stiff bristled brush. I don't even need a hose. I'm just using one of those sprayers. Heck, you could do this with a cup of water if you wanted. Lasfits clean up so fast. They fit up underneath the pedals. They catch all the dirty stuff that you get tracked into your car from a long day of work, sand, mud, all that road salt if you live in the Northeast. And we have a coupon code. Use code RCR to save money on the Lasfit website. Once again, that's use code RCR to save money on the Lasfit website. I love these floor mats. You're going to like them too. And my friends run them as well. And the best thing is, once you clean these, they go back in and they look new again. And they feel new again, too. So give Lasfits a try. I like them, and I think you'll like them too. And now, back to the video. The Volvo V90 Cross Country Ultra exists to solve one problem. How do you please somebody who is used to being pleased? And the answer is, make a car that's instantly familiar and comfortable the moment you touch the door handle. The handle is gentle. The door is weighty but moves with ease. The seats are firm but feel like the Big Show gyrated in them to break in the foam. The volume, HVAC, and nav all fall easily to hand with assertive clicks and detents. This is the car for people who, when they walk into the dealership, want to feel as if they are being welcomed into their own home. You ever been in a really nice Volvo dealership? It's like walking into a Corpo coffee house. I think the Volvo dealership experience, at least the higher end ones, is the best. I know it's fake. I know everything is trying to get me. I know I'm being sold, but goddamn it, that's a nice dealership. I'll tell you what, it's better than Mercedes, better than BMW, better than Lexus, because they know the customers who want a high-end Volvo. They want to get in the car and already know everything, even if they're not into Volvos. High-end Volvos are for the people who expect to be handheld through the entire experience. Cross-country Ultras are for people who want to sit in the car and go, oh, this is nice. And then they make the decision and don't learn anything else about the car. This is like if Clayface copied everything about you from the neck up and then gave you a blowjob with your own mouth. Imagine you have a fussy partner who is used to dismissing the world until they get what they want. They send food back in restaurants because it didn't look right when I saw it arrive. Or they call the power company and ask if anything can be done about this heat outside. Or they order 8 different DoorDashes and eat whichever one doesn't make them feel bad for eating. The V90 Cross Country Ultra soothes the Nepo's heart. It doesn't challenge your tastes. It offers 1%er pleasant blandness. Oh, I don't want the inconvenience of EV charging, but I want the acceleration of an EV, but I don't want to hear the engine. I don't like it when the engine gets loud when I go fast. Engine noises make me feel sad. I just want something nice. And I think our instinct to ask why the wealthy just want something nice kind of says more about us, because why should occupying a certain tax bracket demand our tastes be obscure? Why can't multimillionaires and billionaires enjoy breadsticks? And the answer is, of course, they can like whatever they want. But I think whatever jealousy we feel toward the wealthy is amplified when we see them living simply. And the V90 is the automotive equivalent of a doctor's office for a corporate health plan. It looks nice. It feels refined. You sit in these plush chairs or seats and they solve all your back problems. There's a genuine feeling that whoever made this cared enough to make it good, feel good. Again, all the buttons and knobs are tactile and responsive, and the steering wheel is grippy and satisfying. It's gratifying in the way a well-made, correctly moistened turkey sandwich is gratifying, the correct amount of mayo, because it's simple. And if you can do simple things really well, it's better than complexity done mediocrely. A Volvo V90 Cross Country Ultra is essentially a rich man's Camry, but a rich man's Camry is not a Lexus. People who want Lexuses go right to Lexus. And you can take a Camry and spec it all the way up until it kind of gets close to a Volvo, but it doesn't have the same feel. Camry is simple but serious, but a Volvo is welcoming and neutral. But the general facade of niceness hides all the things that you would care about if money weren't the non-issue it is in your life. You overlook all the gas you're not saving. Because, let me reiterate, this is a hybrid that gets bad gas mileage. It comes nowhere near 35 miles a gallon. And I get that it's a mild hybrid system, so the fuel savings aren't going to be up in the 40s like a Prius, but this thing gets 22 city and 29 highway and 25 combined. Ugh. Those are front-wheel drive Toyota Highlander numbers. And a Highlander is a 7-passenger vehicle. For fuck's sake, the 2025 Nissan Rogue will get you 33. So why is this so bad? Well, it's turbocharged and supercharged and coupled to all-wheel drive, and a hybrid system that doesn't save fuel, even though it's a 2-liter engine with a 48-volt mild hybrid system. All to make this thing have the power and smoothness of an EV without having to wait to charge it. Power numbers? 295 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. That's pretty low in the rev range. All right, so you take off in this car. Initially, the electric motor gives you the first push. Then power comes in pretty quick with a root-style supercharger. And when that thing hits its peak, it's now feeding the turbocharger. So you get 0 to low RPM torque to blast you through construction-grade denim coveralls straight off idle. And then as you move faster, now the turbocharger is working. So this is like a relay race. And not to beat a drum here, but I would imagine this would be more exciting if you got a manual transmission in here somewhere, but that's not who this car is meant for. But I give Volvo credit because the transmission that's in this is not a CVT. It's a legit 8-speed. It's real. And the B6 all-wheel drive powertrain does creep up on you to where you can go easily 100 miles an hour without realizing it. Times differ between manufacturer and review outlets, but this is supposedly capable of going 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds. I can see that. It definitely wants to get up to highway speeds as quickly as possible. And they did it. This just may be the quietest internal combustion engine I have ever driven. It's very much like a Toyota Century, just modernized, which is to say that while it is tastefully minimalist, it does have some features that seem, performative. For instance, you get this air purification system that tells you about pollutant levels in the air so that you'll actually use the system to clean the air in the cabin. But the problem is that there's nothing you can really do about the air quality outside the car. So you're really only safe for the negligible amount of time you're driving. In comparison to the rest of the day when you're at the mercy of a planet that's dying faster than the ski and snowboard rental industry. This is not a harmful feature. I could see how it'd be attractive in the same way a Prius might be, with the idea that the car is halfway helping the environment while also helping your own personal space. But I just don't know that it's a value add personally. Although it's kind of cool that you not only get remote start for the car, but this air purification system as well. You also get 2 keys, and one of them can be programmed to limit the car's top speed. For a kid or a valet. In totality, I think this is probably the fanciest wagon money can buy that doesn't have a Mercedes badge on it. And yes, it's fast. Fast without boasting. It has the pull of a Mercedes naturally aspirated V8 from the 2000s, but without the great noise. I'm not into ropes, which bums me out because it's such a popular kink. Any city that has a hookah lounge also has a bondage bar, where 55-year-old Finnish carpenters and commercial real estate attorneys tie each other up to ceiling joists in the Melbourne style. But tell someone that you want to have a snuggly evening in the basement while we vacuum pump our balls really big while watching a low-stakes BBC drama called Carriage House or Hedgemont Estates or Kenilworth Urinals, and people will say, "Ew, Brian, stop being weird." But then I gotta come back to the question of maximized value. Is the price point for this Volvo comparable to the Polestar 2 in pure MSRP? Well, Kelley Blue Book has the 2025 Volvo V90 Cross Country B6 Ultra at $65,995, while the all-electric performance hybrid 2025 Volvo Polestar 2, which is a fantastic and fast SUV, is listed at $66,200. That's a $205 difference. $205 is the price of a fancy dinner for 3 in Center City, Philly. It's the price of a pair of decent trail running shoes. It's the price of 1 tire. That's the difference between owning a righteously fast, thoroughly modern EV or an icy hybrid spinning plates trying to imitate the former. But the V90 looks better. It's kinder to your glutes and lower back, and it's more familiar to people for whom EVs are still largely a mystery. So it gets purchased because it feels like home, and that's where the buyer's consideration ends. No one who buys one of these cars wants to be challenged or wants anything explained to them, because that implies they don't know something, which that implies they are lesser. And the people who own these things are always superior, because they always have been. Do you know who my family is? Do you know who my family is? Volvo V90 Cross Country. A car for a man who's bored by his own affluence. It's almost as if expecting him to be an interesting rich guy is too big an ask. Howard Hughes pissed in jars. The Rock pees in water bottles. What weirdness are you adding to the world? Oh, You like to get tied up and called names? Boring. Get back to me when you learn what size theft is. The Volvo V90 Cross Country Ultra indicates the rare type of wealth that doesn't make you more attractive because it's clear you don't know what to do with your money. You just go through life without worrying about parking tickets, cracked phone screens, or broken bones, because your money inoculates you from hardship, but it doesn't actually do anything else. It doesn't make you more interesting. It doesn't make you acquire more expensive tastes. A person who struggles will accept less because financial limitations force them into modest tastes. But a V90 driver will just accept whatever is comfortable and immediately rewarding. Not because they have financial limitations, but because they're more interested in using their money to be well off in the truest sense of the term. V90 Cross Country Ultra, the official car of telling ChatGPT, give me a step-by-step guide to popularity. The definition of being well off doesn't mean biannual European vacations or 3-story yachts. It just means that you don't really have to worry about money. V90 Cross Country Ultras are for people who experience a one-car accident or a medical emergency as an inconvenience instead of a life-ruining event. But the thing is, being well off is the type of wealth that doesn't impart character in the way struggle does, or in the way self-made does. Congratulations! You have money, and it tells us nothing about you, other than that you're a person moving through the world without a thought to your context within it. If anything, wealth allows people the freedom to be boring, because the money itself does all the heavy lifting. At least you'd think so. But then you see them drive something like this. A car by all rights is good, but doesn't give them the same value for their money as any number of better cars or cooler cars. It's as if they're so set in their ways that their mind doesn't entertain challenging ideas. It's simply, oh, I like this car. I like the way the salesman smiled. I like the way he was nice to me. Where do I sign? Wealth is embodied by other people wanting what you have. And the V90 Cross Country Ultra is for a wealthy guy who has nothing anybody wants other than stability. That's the only thing he has that anybody wants. And you know what? Good for him. But this car makes no sense if you understand the value of a dollar. It's inefficient, complicated, and can only be repaired with Rubbermaid totes filled with $100 bills. Some people don't need financial planners because no advice will change their spending habits, while others don't need financial planners because their money is comfortably self-renewing and they have no interest in learning how to maximize its effectiveness. Either a person has free will and they can do whatever they want with what they break their back to earn, but for a car that I think actually is good, the V90 is very nice to drive, it's also far less than what it could be. There's a better car underneath all of this that could be a real competitor to Mercedes. But as it is, it's just good in a way that's disposable wealth. This is for someone who's rich enough to never want to be told what to do. It's meant to please every aspect of a wealthy person's entitled brain. This is a cocoon for the upper classes. Oh, I'm different. I drive a Volvo. Ugh. It's like the centerpiece of a 2006 lease-to-own showroom, and driven by white-haired men who tip poorly at restaurants if the waitress doesn't respond to toots. Would we own one? Fuck no. But if being comfortable is your number one priority in this world, it works. V90 Cross Country Ultra. May your hot sauce be forever mild, may your airline boarding be forever a priority, and may your sex be forever missionary.